Hello guys, welcome back to my Chanel Whispering Coffin. Today's story is I followed the pinwheels into the desert. Then I saw myself watching me. Used to think the pinwheels were harmless. Tiny plastic toys spinning in the dirt outside my trailer every morning. Red. Blue. Yellow. Always clean. Always new. And always facing my bedroom window. The first one appeared 3 weeks after I moved to Black Hollow Road, a forgotten stretch of highway surrounded by dead cornfields and giant wind turbines that never stopped turning. Nobody lived nearby except an old mechanic named Graves who repaired abandoned trucks behind his scrapyard. I asked him once if kids lived around here. He stared at me too long before answering. Not anymore. That should have been enough warning. But I stayed. Because rent was cheap. And because I was stupid enough to think isolation sounded peaceful. The second pinwheel appeared after the storm. This one was taller. Its stick was shoved deep into the mud beside my mailbox. Still spinning. Even though there was no wind. I remember touching it. The plastic blades felt warm. Like someone had been holding them moments earlier. That night, I woke up at exactly 2:13 a.m. to a strange metallic squeaking outside. Slow. Rhythmic. I looked through the blinds. The pinwheel was spinning violently in complete silence. No wind. No rain. Just spinning faster and faster. And behind it, something tall was standing near the road. At first I thought it was a scarecrow. Then it moved. Not walking. Twitching. Like frames skipping in a broken video. I shut the blinds instantly. The squeaking stopped. The next morning, the figure was gone. But there were now 3 pinwheels in my yard. All facing the house. I should have left. Instead, I started asking questions around town. Nobody wanted to talk about the pinwheels. One waitress dropped my coffee when I mentioned them. An old man at the gas station whispered, "If they're counting you, don't answer the knocking." I laughed at him. I actually laughed. That same night, someone knocked on my trailer door. 3 slow knocks. Not aggressive. Almost polite. I checked the time. 2:13 a.m. The knocking came again. 3 knocks. Then a child's voice. "Can you help me find my pinwheel?" Every hair on my body stood up. Because the voice sounded wrong. Not distorted. Not demonic. Just unfinished. Like multiple children speaking at once, slightly out of sync. I didn't answer. The voice stayed outside for nearly an hour. Sometimes crying. Sometimes laughing. Sometimes whispering directly beside my bedroom wall. Then silence. I finally looked outside around sunrise. There were 7 pinwheels now. All spinning toward the trailer. And in the dirt beneath my window. Footprints. Hundreds of them. Tiny bare footprints circling the trailer over and over until they disappeared into the cornfields. That was the moment I decided to leave. I packed everything into my truck before sunset. The second I turned the ignition, the radio exploded with static. Then a voice came through. A little girl whispering, "You looked." The truck died instantly. All lights gone. Complete darkness. Then the wind turbines outside started screeching. Not spinning. Screaming. I looked toward the fields and saw dozens of pinwheels rising above the corn like colorful eyes. Hundreds. Maybe thousands. All turning in the exact same direction. Toward me. Then I saw them. Shapes moving between the stalks. Too tall to be children. too thin to be human. Their heads jerked sideways with every spin of the pinwheels. And they were getting closer. Fast. I ran back inside the trailer and locked every door. The knocking started immediately. Not one door. Every wall. Every window. Every side of the trailer at once. Bang. 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 Then silence. Then the child's voice again. Right behind me. You answered. Cold breath touched my neck. I spun around. Nothing there. But hanging from my ceiling fan was a tiny red pinwheel spinning slowly in the dark. That's when my phone buzzed. No caller ID. I answered without thinking. A woman was crying on the other end. Overlapping whispers filled the background. Then she said, "If you see the pinwheels, they've mistaken you for one of the missing." I asked her what that meant. She went silent for several seconds. Then whispered, "They only take people who look outside." The trailer suddenly shook violently. The windows shattered inward. Pinwheels came flying into the room like insects, spinning across the floor impossibly fast. And outside, I finally saw the faces in the field. No eyes. No mouths. Just smooth pale skin stretched tight over skulls. But each one carried a pinwheel. And every single one was pointed directly at me. The last thing I remember from that night was hearing thousands of children laughing beneath the sound of spinning plastic. I woke up the next morning 50 miles away beside the highway. No truck. No phone. No trailer. Nothing. Police told me Black Hollow Road doesn't exist anymore. There are no records of trailers there. No wind farm. No mechanic named Graves. Nothing. But sometimes, when I wake up in the middle of the night, I hear squeaking outside my apartment window. Slow. Rhythmic. And every morning, there's another pinwheel waiting for me. I make videos about abandoned places. Not fake ghost hunting garbage. Real places. Dead malls. Empty military roads. Forgotten towns swallowed by sand. 3 months ago, someone emailed me coordinates with no message attached. Just a photo. A single blue pinwheel planted in the middle of the desert. At first I ignored it. Then another email came. This time the subject line said, "They only appear after sunset." Attached was another image. Dozens of pinwheels stretching across the sand like graves. And standing far behind them, something blurry. Tall. Bent sideways. Watching the camera. I should have deleted the emails. Instead, I drove 6 hours into the Nevada desert chasing content. Because views were dying. And desperation makes you stupid. The coordinates led me to an abandoned solar farm miles from the nearest road. Thousands of giant mirrors stood in perfect rows reflecting the setting sun. It looked beautiful at first. Then I noticed the pinwheels. Hundreds of them. Tiny colorful pinwheels planted around the mirrors in perfect circles. None were moving. Not even slightly. The air was completely still. I started filming immediately. Okay, this place is officially weird as hell. Then all the pinwheels turned toward me at once. I froze. Not spinning. Turning. Like invisible hands rotated them simultaneously. Every single one now pointed directly at my camera. I laughed nervously because my brain refused to process what I'd just seen. Then my camera battery died. 100% to black instantly. That's when I heard whistling. Far away. A soft childlike whistle echoing through the mirrors. I called out thinking someone else was exploring the site. No response. Only whistling. Moving closer. I followed the sound between the mirror towers until I found something buried in the sand. A backpack. Inside was a camera covered in dust. The memory card still worked. There was only one video file. A man recording himself at night inside the same solar farm. Panicking. Breathing hard. He kept whispering. They keep copying me. Then the video turned toward one of the mirrors. At first it only reflected him. Then another version of him slowly appeared behind his reflection. Smiling. Except the real man wasn't smiling. The fake reflection raised a pinwheel toward the glass. The video cut out. I nearly dropped the camera. That's when the whistling stopped. Silence. Every mirror around me reflected the sunset. Except one. One mirror showed darkness. Complete darkness. And standing inside that reflection was me. Not my reflection. Something pretending to be me. Its head tilted unnaturally far. Then it smiled. I stumbled backwards so hard I fell into the sand. When I looked back up, the dark reflection was gone. But now the pinwheels were spinning. All of them. Thousands. Faster and faster. No wind. The sound became deafening. Plastic clicking together like insect teeth. Then the mirrors started flashing sunlight directly at me one by one. Like signals. Left. Right. Left. Right. Morse code. I don't know how, but somehow I understood it. It was spelling one sentence repeatedly. Don't let it see you stop moving. That's when I noticed my shadow. It wasn't matching my movements anymore. I raised my hand. My shadow hesitated. Half a second late. Then it slowly lifted its arm too. My stomach dropped. I turned off the flashlight and ran. Tell me which story I should do my next podcast on.